Did you record?
No, not yet.
All right, yeah. So we're back after a 1 week hiatus.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the podcast. This is episode 25.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Nicholas. That's Sahid, and we're getting ready to talk about a few things tonight. So we have, first off, it's the anniversary of George Floyd's murder. Let's call it what it is. Then we'll go into the NBA playoffs, and then we're going to be talking about these new trailers for the Marvel movies that have been dropping. So we got Shang-Chi, we got the Eternals. So I'm really excited to get into those.
Right.
So yeah, man. So it's been a year since what happened to George Floyd, man. What do you? How you feel?
How do I feel? I will say this. I read an article a couple of days ago, and I was actually talking about this with a couple of my friends. They did a poll, and they said there has been a decline or less people support Black Lives Matter now than it did last year. Surprise, surprise. Like people kind of have that fatigue. So it's
everything has to be instant these days, man. It's
exactly.
A 24-hour news cycle.
Exactly. We have that fatigue now, where they just want to kind of live their lives, and they just want to ignore just some of the things that justice that's going on in the world, right? They can't be bothered. So people kind of live in this bubble. I mean, one thing's for sure, Derek Chauvin was convicted. So, I mean, thank goodness justice was served. But during like the trial,
he's appealing. You know that, right?
Huh?
He's appealing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, of course he is.
Hopefully, like the judges and everybody else sees that it's as pointless as we do, right?
Well, yeah.
I mean,
hopefully the judge would be like, "Bitch, please, get back in your cell." Get back in your cell.
Oh my
god. No, but it's yeah, justice was served, but during like his he was in jail while he was like during like since the trial, since his killing, like I don't know the exact number, but there's been a number of Black people that has been killed by the police, right?
Yeah.
We still haven't passed the George Floyd like
there was an act, right?
Yep. Like there's heavy resistance, so it's kind of seems like what frustrates me is that it seems like the strategy a lot of times is just wait for it to go away, right? Things like this happen, people feel sorry, they feel bad, they feel empathetic, and they kind of just wait for it to go away, right? And they don't have to do anything, and that's what it seems like the strategy is today. That's what it seems like the strategy is now. And
so you feel like we've lost momentum a little bit?
Of course. I mean, we're always going to lose momentum, right? And progress is not a straight line, right?
True.
Progress has, it's like, you take your steps forward and then you take back, right? You know, so like, for example, looking at slavery, huge step forward, the step back, Jim Crow and all the laws that were used to oppress Black people, right?
Very true.
And even so now, civil rights forward, and then during the civil rights era, all the Confederate statues and battle flags that came up to trying to oppose the civil rights. So yeah, it's like progress isn't a straight line, and we have to accept that. But I'm still frustrated.
Yeah,
I'm still frustrated to see the lack of support or the fading support. If you want to wonder why we still have these problems after so many years, this is it, right?
Exactly.
Trying to we haven't passed the George Floyd law. They're trying to ban talking about systemic racism in schools. Keep in mind, they were okay with like peddling lies about the Civil War for years, right? Brought on by the Daughters of the Confederacy. Robert E. Lee was a fine man and slavery wasn't that bad. But when we try to address these problems, there's a huge pushback, and we know why. We just don't want to say it. And not to mention, a couple weeks ago when a senator was like, "Yeah, America's not a racist country." Well, I mean, we got to prove it, not just say it.
Right. Well, that's exactly why I posted up that video about Gil Scott-Heron, right, where he was it was a poem from, back in the day, but basically it was explaining the same thing. Like we're still, when we talk about like the history that's being taught in schools or whatnot, it's not like the entire picture. It's really just one perspective.
Yeah.
And, 1 year later after George Floyd's death, the same thing is still happening. But I think for real at this point, the only thing that's really happened is that, when there is an event or when something like that does happen, it's publicized much quicker. I feel like there's an immediate level of scrutiny over the officer's actions. So I can at least appreciate that. You know what I mean? And hopefully that law gets signed, and hopefully, we see something with this police reform. I know that George Floyd's family was invited over to the White House. I don't know if that's just for show or, they're really going to talk about, some of the ideas that they might have for police reform.
It's for show.
Who knows? The president keeps saying that he's serious about it. So, and again, they haven't even been in office for a year yet, right?
Yeah. Well, so he has his own problems, because even though the Democrats have the 50-50 with the tiebreaker majority, right? They still have some moderate, like, Democrats that will side with Republicans just for the sake of siding for Republicans, right? Just to keep this moderate label that they think is so important. So that's a huge part of just the whole frustration. Like January 6th commission, they're trying to block that. Like, why? Right. So
what's the commission? What is that?
So pretty much, remember the Hillary Clinton saga about like emails and Benghazi and all that stuff, and they had like a commission investigating Hillary Clinton. They wanted to have something similar for that with the insurrection, right? The January 6th insurrection, who was involved, and so on and so forth. And surprise, surprise, pretty much almost all the Republican parties against it, especially in the Senate.
I swear they're afraid of him. They're afraid of that guy. I'm not even gonna say his name. They're just afraid of that guy.
Yeah, he will be without no name for right now. But like, it's a sad power play, because this is why racism in America still exists, because you have to cater to it, right?
Yes.
Cater to it, yes. And then you deny it existence, right?
Yes.
Right. There's you have congressmen that are like saying negative things, anti-Semitic things, right? They won't say anything with when, like, with Israel like attacks Palestine, but will say some anti-Semitic stuff, right? It's like and if you try to criticize Israel, like the government, right, you're the anti-Semite, right? But there are people here that in Congress are talking about Jewish lasers and all sorts of BS, right? That are elected officials. And that's somehow okay. So it's frustrating.
It's a mixed bag right now.
Though I don't want to be too negative, because what you're saying is true in the sense that last year was so monumentous, where we got to speak out and people heard, right? It just wasn't just passed through. We're seeing tapes come out, and like there's almost immediate pushback now, right?
Right.
I mean, again, it makes me wonder. It's again, progress isn't a straight line, and it makes me wonder if like the other side has kind of found countermeasures to kind of help block that movement. That's how it is, right? It's not we don't do things for the sake of it being right anymore. It's a countermeasure, right?
It's all about perception.
It is about perception. Like, people want to believe that we're in this bubble of we're not racist and whatever, but not really willing to do the work to make sure that we're not a racist country, right?
So I mean, right now for me, you had the George Floyd thing, like that was we kind of got some closure on that.
Yeah.
Breonna Taylor got a little bit of closure on that.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on with the Ahmaud Arbery's case?
I think them. I'm not. So I haven't kept them. That hasn't been in the news cycle.
They have silenced that, or it's just not. I just don't understand. Like, why isn't that in the news cycle right now. Like
Yeah.
all I know is that I think maybe they're about to go to court. Maybe.
Yeah, I
I don't
think
know.
last I heard from it, it was a while ago. They said that they're being tried for as a hate crime, like surprise, surprise. Um, so yeah, that's kind of where I got with that. I think they're still in jail. They're not out on bond or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I have not read about that in a minute. I try to say as close as I can to follow the news as the best I can. We can only do so
It's
much.
tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With
I mean, I
all.
tried to do a Google search not too long ago, and I was only getting like old stuff,
Mhm.
to where would they be out on bond, or they were trying to put something forth where you could not refer to Aubrey as the victim or something ridiculous like that. Just like
Yeah.
get out of here.
Yeah, that's the thing too. We part of the problem with our social justice this social justice movement is that when something happens bad, we kind of want to give this performative mean nothing action. So for example, um like after the George Floyd situation happened and America kind of woke up, so to speak, rather.
Hmm.
There's nothing else to do about because we're in a pandemic. About just the injustice that we had. One of the things that was suggested or they're trying to do now is ban the use of the term master bathroom or bedroom, like in houses, whatever. And
That's not the right fight.
it's it's
That's not the
performative.
right fight.
It's performative, right? I
Who
mean,
cares?
yeah, exactly. It's performative. I'd rather you tackle the issue of why are there less African American homeowners, right? Um,
Exactly.
I was actually reading an article a couple weeks ago about a woman who was having her house appraised, and she got low appraisals for a house a couple times, and then she had a white person kind of step in to act as a proxy, to act as if like that was their house, and the like housing price doubled, right?
Yep.
Like
Yep.
that's the shit you need to solve, right? Not the
Exactly.
what's called. Oh, this we're not gonna say master bathroom and master bedroom anymore because
Exactly.
like that. You need to solve that shit, right? Um, so that's where we are.
No comment. No comment.
Yeah,
A waste of time.
yeah. But there's progress, right? There more Confederate statues came down last year than ever before. So
True.
that's start. That's good. We still have a problem with getting some of the other. I don't know what else has to happen for the other ones to come down, which is a scary thought.
You probably have to go do it yourself before you can get
Exactly,
somebody to agree to
exactly, right.
it.
It just shows how we need to. People have the feeling want to hold on to that, right? They want to be able to hold on to that and think that that's okay. Um, and if you want to hold on to that, it's one thing. You don't get to call us not a racist country.
Yeah.
If you need to hold on to Confederate statues that fought
Yeah.
to keep their slaves.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, I'm not even gonna get into that. We know what it is. So
yeah.
hopefully it'll change, but probably not in my lifetime, sadly.
Yeah, we gotta just keep making steps by steps by steps, man.
Exactly.
Cool.
All right, man. Well, that's cool. Yeah, but hopefully things continue to improve, and hopefully, George Floyd continues to be that symbol that people can get behind.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to his family, and hopefully they're finding some measure of peace, some measure of closure, and hopefully they continue to use the situation and their newfound, I guess, since people are more aware of the Floyd family name, hopefully they can use that to continue to make moves out here. So
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Floyd.
what's that?
Rest in peace, George Floyd.
Oh yeah, for sure. Rest in peace. Rest in heaven. So
Heaven.
yeah, man. Moving on to these playoffs. Have you been watching?
Yeah, I actually thought we were gonna talk about the Eternals first, though. The MCU.
Okay, well, we can get into the Eternals.
Yeah. I do want to talk about the playoffs, and I can't wait to get into that. That being said, I want to show you something. So you guys remember Jose? He
That's my
he
guest
starred,
co-host, the first
guest star,
guest.
yeah, first guest star. he came on our show a couple weeks ago, and yeah, thank you for the support, Jose. He sent me something and he told me to play it on you for you guys, and I was wondering. He told me to play it for the team, just because he thinks he'll start some beef a little bit.
All right.
So I hopefully there's no lag or anything. I'm gonna try to like loud it up as my mic as loud as I can to get my mic close to the computer and share.
Is it on YouTube? Because I don't want any copyright issues.
It's not on YouTube.
It's
actually on. I'm actually gonna play it. It's on Facebook, and I'm gonna try to share it like right afterwards. So, yeah, just give me 1 second. Let me get this set up. It's about 2 minutes. So, you tell me what you think. It's a Justice League deleted scene.
Okay.
Deleted scene, quote unquote. So let me get this closer.
I wonder if it's the Green Lantern scene.
Just watch.
All right.
Hopefully this will see. All right, and I'll put this up. And can you see?
Yeah, I got it.
Can you hear?
Yeah.
All right.
My lord. What is it now, Steppenwolf? My lord, I found it. The anti-life equation. It's here, on Earth. Earth. 5,000 years ago, I almost obtained the most sought-after prize in existence. But my armies were forced into retreat by Earth's defenders. Alas, its location became lost in time. Forgive me, sire. I don't mean to question you, but, yes. Why have you not returned in 5,000 years if you knew Earth contained the most powerful weapon in the multiverse? Because, as I said, it became lost. Yes, but how exactly did you lose a planet? Especially the planet that you suffered your only loss at. I mean, it's not like everyone in your army was killed, so there were no witnesses to Earth's location. Thousands of your troops survived along with you. You telling me no one dropped a pin in the location during the retreat? You go too far, Steppenwolf. Hard time reconciling the fact that your greatness with technology so advanced as to appear to be magic, misplaced not just a planet, but the planet that contained the most important thing in the entire multiverse to you. How are you even our boss? Sorry, going through a boob tube.
Oh man, it's freezing
I'm
up.
gonna have to call you back now.
It froze up at the end.
I should have joined Thanos.
I should have joined.
Oh man.
Okay.
So this is like now that makes total sense, right? This is like that scene I was talking about in Endgame where they were like, you know, we're stuck on this ship, like, you know, we can't turn around. It's like just open the portal and go wherever you want to go.
That's
right?
Infinity War. Infinity War.
I'm sorry, Infinity War. Yeah.
Yeah. When
Same deal.
Turn us around, and he's like, no. And like, him's like, why are you arguing? Why are you arguing this? You don't have to go you can go anywhere you want. So, yeah, no, I just wanted to show that to you. I thought that was pretty funny. Was it glitching? I glitched a little bit at the end, but
a little bit, but I got the gist of it though.
Right.
It was still pretty good.
Yeah, it's funny. All right, let's talk Marvel.
Eternals.
Eternals.
Yeah, let's talk Eternals.
Did you watch the trailer? I'm assuming you did.
Of course, I watched it like 3 times.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
so tell me what you think about it. Go ahead. You start first.
I mean, well, I'm intrigued, definitely. Like it's, you know, because you have the core characters that it started out with, and as time has gone on, right, we've slowly but surely expanded. We've gotten into the cosmic realm a little bit here and there. So now it's just like this is the next level. Like there was a scene in Guardians of the Galaxy where you saw that I think one of the locations was like the head of a celestial, right? A dead celestial. And now you find out that there's a group of people called the Eternals who are essentially like almost like the children of the Celestials, but they're a group of humans that were experimented on by the Celestials and given certain abilities, right?
Yeah.
So I'm intrigued. I liked the part where I liked how they just kind of came on the scene and like this. I was like, why is their ship just like a giant rectangle? But I'll let them have that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I guess you're so advanced that you can just fly anything, right?
Well, it's so funny. Number one, I'm happy you kind of start off with like their origins of like who the Eternals are, right? So they're like in the comic books, they're like what, like advanced human beings that created by the Celestials. We've seen the Celestials before. We've seen them like one of them nowhere is the head of a Celestial apparently. Another one they showed like used the Power Stone as in some like just some replay. I think Thanos was supposed to be an Eternal too. In the
I think so, but Peter Quill, like Star-Lord, his dad is a Celestial.
Yeah, his dad's supposed to be a Celestial as well. Ego. So yeah, I think the thing that they flew in on was like a pyramid, like a wedge type thing. But I guess it makes sense because like a lot of the early civilizations had pyramids. So this is kind of, I wasn't super excited about this when I saw the trailer. And the reason being it's like, so everything, there've been memes galore about this too. You've seen a couple of them, like where like the world's on fire, the Celestials are just like, just chilling, like it's like, yeah, we haven't involved ourselves for so long until now. And I'm like, bruh.
I thought that was funny, man. Because I was like, okay, you literally watched the world burn.
Yeah.
And now you want to make yourselves.
Yeah, it's like now you make yourselves known. Like what event has to happen for you to now make yourselves known? That wasn't as bad as Thanos snapping away half the universe, right?
That wasn't bad enough.
Or Ultron trying to cause a mass extinction rate.
Well, Ultron, they kind of had that. I would have stayed back too. They kind of had that handled.
Yeah, maybe they can see the future and like.
I think that's part of it. I think there's somebody can probably see the future or something like that.
We'll see. We shall see. But I like some of the actors and actresses. Angelina Jolie.
Guy that played Jon Snow.
Guy that plays Jon Snow. He's
Rob Stark.
Yeah, he's gonna be. I don't even know their names and like the actual Eternal characters, but.
Well, Rob Stark is. I think Rob Stark is Icarus. The guy who played Rob Stark is Icarus.
Yes.
Somebody can. I think we got a few viewers. Somebody dropped the name of the actor who played Rob Stark. But
I appreciate that.
Yeah, we got some people out here.
Oh, look at this. Okay. There's gonna be. So yeah, the guy who plays Rob Stark is like one of the there's gonna be a love triangle between Rob Stark, the woman, her name is, I think the actress name
Selma Hayek.
Not Selma Hayek. The Asian woman, her name is
oh, that's right.
Gemma something, I forgot.
I'm not even gonna pretend like that.
Yeah, and Jon Snow. Like this is so bad. We don't know any of these guys' names. Hey,
you know what? Yeah, let me look it up. Let me look it up real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, I can look it up right quick. It's gonna be a love triangle there. Ajax is gonna be played by Selma Hayek. So
yeah, that's the only one I know.
Yeah, so she's I've always enjoyed her as an actress.
All right, Kit Harington is the guy who played Jon Snow.
There you go.
And then you have Richard Madden. He's playing Icarus.
Yep.
Kit Harington is playing Black Knight.
Yep.
And let's see, Gemma Chan is playing Cersei.
Yeah.
And then I'm curious to see who this I think his name is Kingo, the character, but it's Kamal Nanjiani. He's playing him. Yeah. Curious to see what his character is.
Yeah. I'm curious too. They have a lot going on. Like they have a guy playing Gilgamesh, Ma Dong Soo, I think is his name.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so yeah, I'm actually pretty excited to see like how it works. I well, when I watched the trailer, I was like, really? Like, I wasn't that excited. Um, but
Yeah, I wasn't excited. I was more intrigued. It was
yeah,
like this is like a new element
yeah.
that they're bringing into the MCU. So
I'm
I'm
intrigued to see
intrigued.
how they're going to explain their non-involvement
I
of
mean,
everything.
it's sort of like so if I mean since we're talking celestials and stuff and people who aren't involved, right? It's almost like they're like Uatu the Watcher. You
Yeah,
know who that is? Like the guy, he just kind of just watches things unfold. He never gets involved. He just watches and documents.
yeah.
So,
That's so
you know,
we saw the Watchers in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Do you remember? It was a Stan Lee cameo. Don't tell me you forgot this.
oh
They were
man, yeah,
there.
you're right. You're right.
Yes.
You're right.
Uh-huh. So
Good one, man. Good memory. Good grief.
yeah. So I actually thought that, and we don't know if that's going to be the case because Stanley's still going to show up in these films, right? He's going to be played by somebody else, but like it makes me wonder if like Stan Lee's characters, like maybe like an agent of the Watchers or something, and there's some like some story kind of connected. That'd be cool if they did that. But no, I'm actually intrigued to see what kind of this movie is going to be, even though the trailer didn't like entice me that much. One thing that I noticed, so I watched a couple of like just trailer reviews. Um, there's a lot of references to Captain America's shield, right? If you like
Hmm.
go through, you'll see like the shield with like the star in the middle pattern a lot. So that's one thing to look at. Um, it seems that like you saw Babylon, like one of like the first ancient cities.
Yeah. Well, how
There,
did you know it was Babylon though?
I recognize the gates. I'm a thousand like Babylon's like known for like it's one of the ancient wonders of the world, and that you actually see it in a museum. I forgot which museum that you can see it in, but I definitely
Okay.
recognize it by the gates. And I was looking at a review of like the trailer. They also had like the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. So
Okay.
that was also there in the trailer as well. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's gonna be an interesting show. Let me see. Forgot.
So what interested me the most was near the end where the character, I think her name is Sprite. She was
Yeah.
like, "Who's going to lead the Avengers now that Captain Rogers?" She called him Captain Rogers, not Captain
Great,
America. Captain
great
Rogers
point. Great point.
and Iron Man are gone. So I was like, "Ooh, who's going to step up? Who's going to
Yeah.
step up?"
Who is gonna step up? So I'm actually really curious about that. Who do you think is gonna step up? I honestly think it's gonna be just by the nature of where Marvel's going. Um, I think it's probably gonna be Captain Marvel. Well, that will take that spot. Possibly. The Avengers seem as more of an earthly thing, and
Yeah,
Captain Marvel is kind of in space.
I can
So I'm
see
not
that.
sure. But that's
You know what? I think yeah, if they kind of do like the same dynamic like that Captain Rod, I mean, yeah, that Steve Rogers and Tony Stark had, then I could see Captain Marvel and
yeah.
the new Captain America, right? Because he's more idealistic. She's the cocky, like you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
OP
yeah.
character.
I just, I just hope they let her have a personality in her next movie, please. Like,
Oh my god!
let it be something more than just like frowning for 90% of the
Yeah.
movie.
Well, let her just be more than just like a cocky jerk. It's like yes, man, you're
Yeah, yeah,
powerful. It's got to be something more to you.
yeah. Let her do something else. But yeah, no, we'll see how that movie goes. So yeah, it's called the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, by the way, and I think Babylon. I don't know which museum that it's in now, but
Okay.
um, there is a piece of like it's called the Ishtar Gate. Oh, is it in DC actually? Huh. No, it's somewhere else.
I would be surprised if that was in DC.
No, it's in Berlin actually. Yeah, piece of the Ishtar Gate is a reconstruction of the Ishtar Gate that's in Berlin. So yeah, when I saw it, I knew it was Babylon.
Okay.
Sure. But yeah, no, yeah. Let's talk about Shang-Chi. Did we talk about this before or
Well, I one other thing too. I want to see like what they have the deviants, uh,
yes.
what they're going to look like because they're like an offshoot of the Eternals, and at least according to what I read about the Eternals, like the Eternals did additional experiments on people, but they kind of went wrong, and
Mhm.
they turned them into the deviants. It's like
Yeah.
they were human, but now they're like these, monster like creatures or whatever who are their sworn enemies now.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like also this movie. So I don't know if you remember the Inhuman series that was on ABC a while back.
I did remember I didn't watch any of it because it looked like shit, but
It was trash. It was
okay.
it was absolute trash. Yeah.
Yeah.
This was like they tried it once they tried to tie it to Shield. I know it was gonna be crap because Shield was crap. But
I thought you liked Agents of Shield.
no, I did not. No,
Oh, you watched the whole thing.
I mean, you know, I watched Supergirl too. I didn't think that was that great either.
I thought you liked Supergirl. Okay, interesting. Man, you're a fan. I gotta hand it to you. I don't watch things I don't like.
I was hoping, I watched Supergirl because it was different, right? And I watched Supergirl because they had Martian Manhunter in there. That's
Yeah.
really why I watched Supergirl.
Yeah.
But I thought they were going to do something decent with it, but it just wasn't. Nah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was there. I feel like this was their opportunity. This could have been the Inhumans movie, but because they fumbled with the Inhumans TV series, they had to do something that was kind of similar.
Yeah.
But not because the Inhumans are the result of experiments by the Kree, I think, right?
Oh.
So you have like this group of people who are the result of experiments. So
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So hopefully they'll get back. Maybe we'll see the Inhumans again. Well, you never know. They'll expunge that from everyone's memories or whatever. Or maybe the Loki will do some kind of time weird thing and I don't know. We'll see the Inhumans somehow. So
yeah, but even one of our viewers, BK, remembered that joint.
oh
Said it
yeah.
was trash.
Yeah.
So I'm not alone. I'm not alone.
Yeah. No, I didn't watch it because it looked like shit. So I wasn't with that shit. So all right.
So yeah, one other trailer dropped. Yep, Shang-Chi.
Yeah, that dropped a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if I thought we may have covered it, but I guess we didn't.
I kept bringing it up, but you and Omar kept finding something else to talk about. Sure.
There's a lot going on, man.
No, there was.
Yeah, no. So, no, great point about Shang-Chi. So that one I'm actually really excited about.
I'm very excited.
That trailer got me hyped for watching that movie. We get to see the 10 Rings, even though they kind of just glossed over it in Iron Man and whatnot. Like the Mandalorian.
Well, they look like bracelets this time.
They look like they're bracelets.
They're like bracelets, yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like that's gonna be taking place in like an ancient battle. I wonder if there's gonna be some interlock between like them and the Eternals at the same time, right?
I mean, the bracelets could be some leftover technology from the Eternals for sure.
Well, they're not to go back to the Eternals, but they were talking about the circular motion of their celestial power that we saw in the Eternals, right? You saw that a little bit with the wizards or the masters of the Mr. Arcs with when they do their little hand wavy thing and it's very circular in name and motion and whatnot.
True.
So or the cloaking technology, right?
True.
Similar to Shield and Wakanda and other members of the MCU. So I don't know. We'll see. They also talked about the multiculturalism of the Eternals. Like you see Indian, East Asian, black, white, possibility of like each one of those Eternals helping different parts of the world like evolve. We'll see.
Yeah.
But it's again going back to Eternals. It's hard to see like they've been in this universe so long and not do anything. We're going to be going back in time with the Mandalorian, like with Shang-Chi. So we'll see if there's going to be some interlock. That got me excited.
I'm ready for a kung fu movie. Like I like kung fu movies. So.
Like we haven't seen. It reminds me of like some of the things with like Jackie Chan a little bit. Like in this scene with
where he's on the bus.
Yes, in the bus where he was like pulling a lady from like falling over, and then he's using his leg to catch another lady from like falling over.
Mm-hmm.
That's such a Jackie Chan type thing, right? Where
Absolutely.
you see him just fighting and just try not to like save people like while like fighting others at the same time, like while all the action's going on around him. So I'm excited to see that.
He looks like he can fight, unlike Iron Fist.
Oh my God. That has got to be the worst casting of all time.
Absolutely.
Like seriously, like since like the beginning, like why is like, and we're gonna give him crap for this because he's like the Knight of Flowers on like Game of Thrones, right? So that doesn't help his cause.
Well,
at all.
You know, I'm not even gonna. I'll gloss over that because I mean, you play who you play.
Yeah.
You play who you play. You know what I mean?
But like
my thing is, you look like you just learned that.
Yeah.
This movie, right?
This is
you
true.
Don't look natural at all. You're like, wait, my hands are supposed to be okay. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, the fighting choreography just sucked. Like, especially in season 1 of Iron Fist.
It was weak.
It was very weak. Like, I remember like that. I remember when he like was he in China somewhere and he fought against this drunken master, like this bodyguard that was a drunk, the drunken fist style. And I was actually really excited for that fight, and it just looked like shit. And I was like, man.
He let me down.
Everyone else in that series could fight except for him. Like everyone.
Yeah.
So miss our buddy Omar here because he'll be a great critique. He likes critiquing fight scenes. Actually, I do want to spend a little bit of time and call out Omar. I was supposed to do this at the beginning of the show. Omar's having a baby. He made it public on Facebook so we can talk about it. So congrats to you, Omar. You and everything. Wish just you and your family and your growing family like the best. So yeah.
Enjoy those sleepless nights.
So man here that has 2 kids himself.
Right. Still
write a book. Yeah. No, but back to Shang-Chi a little bit, because I don't know if I have a whole lot to say about Shang-Chi. I'm excited for the movie. I can't wait for it to come out. Like you said, I can't wait for a good kung fu movie. It's been a while since I've seen a good kung fu movie. And as much as I kind of made fun of the Eternals a little bit, Marvel doesn't, like the MCU, they don't miss on movies much. Like they've had a couple misfires, but
yeah, it definitely has some.
They don't really miss on much. So there's BK. What's up, man?
So one interesting change though was the Mandarin is now his father.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So I'd be curious to see.
I did read about this, right? Because they had like another bad guy there that was supposed to be possibly his father. I forgot the full story, but he was like he just has a very racist background. Just long story short, right?
Yeah.
Came like as a very typical, kind of stereotypical Chinese character, and even said like racist things about like taking the white man's wife or whatever, which I'm sure Marvel just did not want to touch any of that. Absolutely. So
speaking of racism in Marvel too, did you hear how they finally, like Kevin Feige or Feige, however you say his name, he went back and was like, oh, now I regret casting Tilda Swanson as the Ancient One. I was like, dude, you're 5 years too late, man. Get out of here. Get out of here with that. Like, nobody wants to hear that anymore. You should have done right
Yeah,
The ancient one is the ancient one. Like, yes, it is an Asian guy. The thing takes place like in that area.
yeah,
I mean, it's okay to have Asian people there. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, don't go against the grain to just go against the grain. Like, you could make
Well,
the character a little different.
so
You know
you,
what I mean?
you understand why though that she was cast, right? Because the ancient one's usually an Asian man, right? But the reason why they casted it differently is because so the ancient like they're in Kamar-Taj, right? Usually like where Doctor Strange in the comic books is supposed to be in a place called Tibet, right? Tibet is like um they claim to be independent from China. China does not recognize their independence. The Dalai Lama's been like on the like been exiled from China for years, right? So they had to rewrite a lot of those characters so they can like get that Chinese money, right? Um, so
I mean,
you
I get
actually
that,
see this a
but
little bit. You see this a little bit with John Cena. So I don't know if saw the news about this.
oh yeah, he said something. He offended somebody
No.
out there
This
in
this is
China.
what he said, and this is really messed up. So, he said Vietnam is going to be the first country to watch Fast Nine, right? Which, but and China does not recognize like Vietnam. Like Vietnam is a democratically like ran region owned by
Well, it
Beijing.
depends on which Vietnam you're talking about.
Well, yeah, no, but officially Vietnam is owned by Beijing, right? United States doesn't like recognizes Vietnam as their own like country, like their democratic they recognize their democracy.
Mhm.
But like it's a sore subject for a lot of like pro-China people within China when they say something like, "Oh, like they treat Vietnam as a country," right? So, so he walked that way the f back.
I
um,
know. I saw these articles with him retracting his statements,
yeah,
and it's like,
it is
already done,
just
buddy.
so bad. It is like, yeah, I love the Chinese people, whatever, and you can almost see him say, "Please don't take our movie away. I want your money."
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
um,
Honestly, I think if I ever like got famous, I think I might just do a Marshawn Lynch. That way, I just never say anything stupid. I'll
yeah,
just be like,
true. Like,
I'm here because I have to be.
yeah, I mean, yeah, but they want you to get that Chinese money, man. That's a huge market. It's a huge
Oh, of
market.
course, yeah.
So but anyway, that's the reason why the ancient one was the way she was, right? I actually liked Tilda Swinton as the ancient one. I really did. Um
My thing is, it's
so
not that she did a bad job,
yeah.
but
But the
there were so
casting,
many
it was
other,
whitewashed casting for sure. It was whitewashed for sure.
yeah. I mean, there were other cultures that they could have highlighted. I mean, they could have gone somewhere in deep in the jungles of the Congo.
Yeah.
They could have
Yeah.
done somewhere in
Yeah.
India, Pakistan. I
Yeah.
mean, whatever, like
Yeah.
Mongolia. I mean, you could have
Yeah.
tied it to Genghis Khan. I mean, you
Yeah.
could have done anything.
Yeah. No, I mean I actually like Tilda Swanson as the ancient one, but no, you're absolutely right. Like um it's 2 years, it's the years late. Move forward and like do better with some of your casting choices, right?
Yeah,
So and like we'll see. And I think Marvel's getting there, right? Um
yeah, yeah.
they're
Totally for
they're
sure.
they're they're moving forward, right?
Yeah,
So you're actually gonna see like the first like not I wouldn't say it's the first Asian superhero, but like on the big screen, like in this presentation, right?
yeah.
So excited for that. Even though if it is kind of a pandering to China a little bit, but
Hey,
still,
I mean, you have to
it's good to
now,
see
man.
that.
They're
They,
big time right now. They're
yeah,
gotta do it.
yeah,
Gotta do it.
yeah. So it's good to see that. I mean, my frustration, not to take us off too much on this, but my frustration with that is that like like China's human rights issues has been well documented, right?
Right.
With the Uyghur Muslims, with what they're doing with Hong Kong, with Tibet, so many just human rights issues. So it does kind of pain me a little bit to see people cater to a
To
very
that.
oppressive
Yeah.
um, regime. But yeah, this is why progress is always slow, right? It's never a straight line.
Painfully slow. So
Um,
before we, I know we're about to go into the playoffs real quick. I just
yeah,
want to take like 2 seconds we talk about what happened with Floyd Mayweather and whichever Paul brother he's fighting. I forget Logan Paul, Jake Paul, whatever.
Logan Paul.
I can't keep up. So Logan Paul.
Speak your truth.
so finally, Logan Paul finally, I guess, says enough, or somebody decides to write a check big enough to get Floyd Mayweather to fight Logan Paul, right?
Is it big enough though? Okay, sure.
$100 million?
That's what he says. I find it hard to believe they're spending $100 million. A YouTuber that lost his last fight, like how does that generate $100 million? I don't know. We'll see.
Whoever is willing
Floyd Mayweather
to
said it was $100 million. I don't think he got $100 million from what's his face from well, I think he got
no. From you have someone who's like bankrolled the whole thing, like, for sure.
Yeah. He got $100 million from Conor McGregor. I think he got $100 million from
well, not from Conor McGregor, for the fight. Yeah. So you have to find people who are willing to sponsor the fight.
Yeah. That
being said, so I guess they have their little square off or whatever, and I think Jake Paul took. So they get into it, and I don't think it was Logan that took his hat. It was
his younger brother, Jake Paul.
His brother takes his hat and is like, "Got your hat," and tries to run away.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I don't roll with Floyd Mayweather personally, but like this dude has like 1,000 people in his entourage. I feel like, for one, that was a stupid move that could have got you seriously hurt. But now I'm hearing that like he was like he wants to sue, for one, right? I don't think he's just suing about the hat, he's suing about something else. But now, before he was treating that like a game, he was treating the match like a game. Mm-hmm. Now I'm hearing that his trainer's like, yo, Floyd Mayweather is suddenly like very serious about this fight.
Yeah.
So like I'm hearing that he wants to like teach him a lesson, teach him about, that he should respect the art of boxing. So now, before, where I didn't really care, and because I want to see just somebody like beat the brakes off of these guys for pretending to be broad boxers.
Yeah.
Now I kind of want to see the fight. Because
I kind of want to see it too. Hold on, let me see. I'm trying to show a video. Not the video, but okay, this is probably not the best view, but this is. If you look here,
I'm not even sure it was worth getting mad about, because he's just doing that for viewers. Like he's that is his only purpose.
All this is for clout. That's
exactly.
All this is for clout.
And
this
he's getting it.
Floyd Mayweather punching after like taking his hat, like right here.
Yeah.
And this is him like bragging about how he got his hat, like still. And like these guys are just clowns. They're like the ultimate trolls. It's frustrating to me that we have to take these guys seriously. It's amazing because a lot of these people are asking, are these guys good for boxing? I'm not big enough into the sport to really answer that question.
No, they're not good for boxing. No.
So Mike Tyson said something differently though. He said that they are good for boxing because of all the talk that they're generating.
No, they're turning it into a circus. The only thing, I'll tell you what's good for boxing, what will be good for boxing, right? Is that you get these guys to stop being afraid of taking a loss. Like everybody wants to have this perfect record. Mm-hmm. You need to get these guys to actually fight the best fighter. Yeah. So for example, Tyson Fury pretty much ran away from Deontay Wilder after he beat him the second time.
Yeah.
And you're contractually obligated to fight him 3 times.
He is.
Instead, you run away.
But they will fight. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I'm getting to it. To it. So yeah, instead you run away and you spend like the next year like BSing. Granted, we had a pandemic, so I'm a part of that too. Mm-hmm. So then you try to say like, all right, I'm going to fight Anthony Joshua now. So then we hear for months and months and months that you and Anthony Joshua were going to fight. There's all this money on the table, this, that, and the third. Now all of a sudden, somehow like the fight got dropped. Something didn't happen. Now you're going back to Deontay Wilder, I guess because Wilder finally took him to court. A judge, I think, ruled that he had to do the fight. So I'm just like, once you get these guys to actually fight each other the way they're supposed to, then people will care about boxing again. Like people want to see good fights, not just these guys running and fighting like BS contenders. Yeah. Take another guy that you probably haven't heard of, but his name is Terrence Crawford. I think his nickname is like Bud Crawford, right? Low key, like this dude is probably one of the best boxers pound for pound in the game. Okay, but he can't get anybody to take him on for real. Like people are scared of this dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just go at it. You didn't see Sugar Ray Leonard running away from Tommy Hearns.
Yeah.
You didn't see Marvin Hagler running away from, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I want to call out your boy BK. So he commented saying he's a professional. I'm assuming he's talking about about Jake and Logan Paul. He's a professional. So I don't know if you guys will remember on our show a couple weeks ago, we had BK. I forgot your other friend's name. Dan, yes.
BK and Dan.
And we had a great discussion about what makes a professional.
What constitutes a professional?
What constitutes a professional? There's like the literal term and then like the actual meaning behind it, right? So
you don't know, but that conversation actually rolled into another evening where we were arguing about that. It would seem like forever.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's pretty funny. Yeah, I got you, BK. So here we go. He's like, here we go. We're not gonna argue on right now for you, but yeah.
He's trying to get something started, but guess what? And I'm rolling back my previous comment too, because on that episode, I'm quoted as saying that somebody said like if you get paid to do it, you're professional. And Dan
said that.
Yeah, Dan said that or whatever. And initially I was like, but now I'm like, that's true. You get paid to do it. You know. But that doesn't mean
you may not be a good professional.
Yeah, that doesn't mean you're top tier.
You're the lowest of the lowest professionals, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah, you can call yourself a professional. Anyone can call themselves a professional, right? Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I also saw like some Instagram post talking about the situation like that happened, and they build it like this. You're probably gonna hate this, but they build it like this. Like Floyd Mayweather, who is one of the most successful, like the richest, like in terms of like pay-per-view money. I personally don't like Floyd Mayweather, but I can't argue with the successes.
I'm a huge fan.
I know you are. We're not gonna get into why I don't like him. I'm not a fan of his. I can't deny his work ethic. I can't deny like the skill. You can't deny his record, right?
Oh yeah, if you're talking about Floyd as a person, yeah, he's a jerk. I'm talking about Floyd as a boxer. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, he's wildly successful, right? So the person's like one of the most successful, like money wise, one of the top boxers of our generation, is chasing a 24-year-old in a hotel because he got his hat. And that's the state of boxing right now. One of the greatest is chasing a 24-year-old in a hotel because he stole his hat.
Yeah, but that's these exhibitions. You just let somebody waltz in here and say like, "Oh, I'm a boxer now. I'm 3-0." Like, dude, you haven't fought. You fought Nate Robinson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say this. I am a little bit excited about Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder too. I hope Wilder like beats him because I'm not a fan of Tyson Fury.
He better change the game because he's still doing that same mess that he was doing. Tyson Fury about to eat him.
It seems like, and look, I'm not as much into boxing as you are, but it seems like when he fought, he just didn't care. Like he was just so much bigger, stronger than anyone else. Like he didn't really box. He was a brawler. He just like knocked them on their asses, right?
Yeah.
So I'll probably take a little bit of skill to go against like this guy who's just so much bigger and he can take a hit. He can take a hit. Yeah. Like I've seen him take a couple hits. Like in their first fight, he knocked him clean out and it looked like he was done. Yeah. And then the guy just gets up.
I don't know how he got it from that. I don't know how he got it from that.
Yeah. So I'm also excited to see Canelo.
I always like watching Canelo fight.
Yeah, so Canelo might be undisputed, like kind of collect all of the belts, which kind of tells you the state of boxing, which isn't done often, right? because there's so many different conferences and people aren't afraid to fight each other. There's so many different champions.
Exactly. Yeah,
So
put
you
your
don't
belts
really
up,
know
man.
who's the best, right?
Exactly.
And I think Canelo has the leave the weighted suit at the crib.
What did he say?
He said, "Leave the weighted suit at the crib." He's talking to he's talking about Deontay Wilder.
You need
Yeah,
to come out like Tyson in a towel.
yeah, I'm I'm happy to see Canelo again, I don't know much about boxing, right? But if I know a little bit about sports. If I can like name these names, I mean that tells you something, right? That tells you that you have some. You don't have to go to this Jake and Logan Pauls to save your sport.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, unfortunately, like it's because it's still run by these promoters, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, if the promoters don't like each other, then you're not going to be able to fight such and such as guy, even if there will be the best fight, right? It's always something getting in the way of that. That's really what I think. That's what happened with Joshua's guy and Fury, or one of them, or Wilder, or somebody like.
Yeah. No. Yeah. We'll see where it goes. There are a couple of things I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see Canelo like unify everything. Excited to see the
Pacquiao is fighting Errol Spence. Pacquiao needs to retire.
Yeah, I think he's done for.
That's another thing. It's like, dude, I know you're still doing good. Somehow you're still winning, but it's not going well for you, my friend.
Yeah. No, they need to get the new people come in, and they need to like I need to be able to follow like who the best people are. Like there's just so many champions. Like in women's tennis, I know who Serena Williams is. I know who Naomi Osaka is. Like they're like the top of like the tennis world, right? And even in males tennis, right? We know who Roger Federer is. We know who
Nadal,
Novak Djokovic is. We know who I forgot the Roger Federer's the name.
Rafael Nadal, man.
Rafael Nadal. Yes, exactly. Like we know who they are, right? Like even in golf, and I don't even watch golf, right? Like I know who some of those those players are. Though I just blanked on it like on live.
Well, I think golf is in an interesting. I know we're getting off on a tangent. I think golf is in an interesting place too, because like what is golf without Tiger Woods? Now you're looking for some of these other young stars to come up, right?
This is true.
So
yeah, let's rein it back in. We're going off a little tangent there. But yeah.
Thank you, BK.
Yeah. Thanks, BK.
All right, so over to these NBA playoffs. So the first question I had for you is, how do you feel about this new play-in tournament?
I know how Steph Curry feels about it. I know how LeBron feels about it. I actually didn't mind it as much. It's not as bad. It probably means more this year than most years because the Lakers was in the play-in and they're expected to like make it far in the playoffs, right? Normally, like who was in the play-in tournament for like the East? It was
well, who had the last spot in the West though? Was it the Lakers or the Warriors? Did the Warriors get
no?
It
was Grizzlies. The Grizzlies.
They were the 8.
Yeah, they were the 8. So what they did is they ended up beating the Warriors. So it was I think the last couple like in the West was the Lakers, Warriors, Grizzlies, and San Antonio, I believe, right? I think Grizzlies beat San Antonio, Lakers beat the Warriors, and then the Warriors lost to the Grizzlies. Which look, I love Steph Curry. I think he's revolutionized the game, and I think we give Steph Curry and Steve Curry a lot of credit. Y'all can't lose to freaking like the Grizzlies.
Hey, I'm sorry. Any given day, man, because Ja Morant.
Ja Morant's a beast.
That boy is coming.
He's good. So, don't get me wrong, he is good.
Y'all can say
Steph
what
Curry
you
is a
want.
2-time MVP though. They were thinking about getting him MVP this year because of how
He should have got it. He did get it, right?
No, he did not. They haven't announced it yet. But they were
If
thinking
they
about
don't give it to Steph Curry, I'm sorry.
I know who they're gonna give it to. They're gonna give it to. I think they're gonna give it to dude from Utah, and I think he deserves it actually.
No, absolutely not.
I think so. I mean that he's been playing pretty well.
What more do you have to do? Curry literally had the best year of his career. His team is trash. And he got them into the playoff and he got them into the playoff tournament. No, man. I'm sorry. Like the other guy has people on. He's got Donovan Mitchell. They've got Rudy Gobert. Please. Like he's clearly
Rudy Gobert is with
he's on the Jazz.
Is he on the Jazz? Yeah, no, yeah, he's on the Jazz.
Unless you're talking about the dude from Dallas, because it was his name, Jokic.
Jokic, that's it. Your boy BK saying Joker. I'm trying to get his name right. The guy from Denver. So
hold on. Is it Dallas or Denver? Because you're going all over the place right now.
I'm all over the place right now. It's been a long.
Hold on.
It's not Dallas. It's not Dallas.
He played Denver.
Yeah, Denver. Joker.
Even still, Denver is one of the best teams in the West, dog.
They lost one of their players though. They lost.
Oh no. You know what I mean? Like the Warriors
lost a player too. I don't know.
Exactly.
I'm not.
The Warriors are crap right now, dog. The Warriors are crap. Andrew Wiggins has not been the player that they thought he was going to be.
He's still.
He had the rookie that kind of came up a little bit. It's been all Steph Curry is literally the only player that can do anything on that team. But he still got the scoring title.
He did get the scoring title. I'm trying to respect this man's name here because that's what I'm like looking up right now.
Nikola Jokic.
Nikola Jokic. Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah.
Nikola Jokic. Yeah, I think he's gonna get it. I'm pretty sure he's gonna get it. Because the thing about the MVP is that you got to make the playoffs, right?
That's stupid.
It's truth.
But hold on. But I mean, technically, Curry did though. He made the play-in game.
He made the play-in.
I mean, you know,
Westbrook. There was beef with Westbrook winning winning his MVP years ago because there's only the 6th seed in the West when he won his MVP.
Only the 6th. That's ridiculous. The man averaged a triple-double.
He did.
He was the team. He was the team.
Just keep in mind, it's kind of political too.
It is.
But
I think that's ridiculous.
I think he deserved the MVP. And again, I like Steph Curry as a player, but Steph Curry's all this good. Look, Steph Curry's good. Steve Kerr's a great coach. What's the forward's name on the Warriors? I am just all
Draymond Green.
Draymond Green. I can't remember anyone's name right now. I would like them to step up more, right? They only have one splash. They're only down one splash brother, right? Klay Thompson, right? And you lost to the Grizzlies. Come on.
Only down one splash, dude. The team has been broken down.
Yeah, well, the team.
They are not what they were. Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell. That's what I'm saying. The team sucks. The only person worth guarding on the court is Steph Curry.
But they have Draymond Green there. He was an all-star.
What does Draymond Green do? He's a defender.
Apparently, he's about to go to the team accordingly.
He might give you 3 points. Get out of here.
He gives you triple doubles. He got a triple double. He gets triple doubles. That's what he is. He's not a scorer. He's a facilitator.
Let me look something up
here. Yeah.
Draymond Green. I'm just gonna let's see.
I could show
triple doubles.
In their loss, I think he got a triple double. In the play-in. So let me see.
For this season, Draymond Green has had a total of out of 82 games of
72 games. They only played 72 this year.
Excuse me, 72 of 7 triple doubles. Please stop talking.
Are you undermining 7 triple doubles? Oh, come on.
For the entire season, you're making it like that's amazing.
That is amazing. Look, Russell Westbrook has devalued the triple double. 7 triple doubles is a lot.
He has not devalued the triple double at all. A triple double is a big deal, but
You know what? Let me Google who's had them. Let me Google who's had the top. Who's had the most triple doubles?
Okay, most triple doubles in the season. You'll see Westbrook up there.
Let me see. Triple doubles for 2021. I don't even think he's like in the top. Let me see. Triple doubles in 2021 season. Oh, that's
All
just
right. So I'm actually looking at this list now. I can show you.
All right, yeah, show you.
So most triple doubles in the season, obviously Russell Westbrook, 42. But if you go
I'm just looking
down,
for this season.
Well, I'm talking about like in a season, like in general, right? So
okay, all right.
Like this is like all time, right? And I'm not sure how old this data is, but like back in the day, right? This is top, the top,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So Magic Johnson, who is one of the greatest players of all time, had 16, right?
Yes.
Like, and Magic Johnson's done it so many times. Luka Doncic, is that Luka Doncic? Yeah, look at this guy. Had 17. I mean, so 9 is a pretty solid thing, right?
He's had 7, and it's not. He doesn't have 9. He has 7.
Okay, 7's not bad either. Right?
but you're trying to make it like the man's a walking triple double. Like he's
No,
regressed.
no. By no means am I trying to make it like that at all. I'm saying he's an all-star, right? He's their apparently he's invaluable to their team about making good decisions and like leading the new guys.
As a defender and facilitator, yes.
Yes. I'm not making he's not on the level of Klay Thompson by any means or any of these guys that I showed, right?
Yeah. My point is that this season, maybe probably last season too, he's not quite as good as he used to be. He's kind of regressed a little bit. So where it's like, Steph took off. I feel like that guy's taking a step back.
You haven't seen him. So Steph did step up, right? He definitely stepped his play up for sure, which you did not see that with Draymond Green. Now, mind you, Draymond Green might be a different type of player where he's more kind of motivating people and making plays and doing all those things that you don't see in the stat line. So I will give him credit for that. But I don't know. I think Nikolai Jokic's got MVP this year, and I think he deserves it. Yeah.
I'd be highly disappointed if they give it to that guy. But
All right, let's move on. Let's move on.
All right.
There's just so much we want to talk about with the NBA playoffs too.
For sure.
I wish I had more time to like watch it too. I'm gonna try to watch. It's actually probably going on tonight, actually. What do you think about? I want to talk about the Clippers for a second. The Clippers. So they're down 2-0 to Dallas, right? The Clippers tanked a little bit so they can play Dallas and not like the Lakers, right? They tanked so they can get to Dallas, and they're down 2-0.
This is the year they should have played the Lakers.
Yeah, this is probably their year they could have played them.
I think that was a stupid decision.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, they're soft for that, for starters. But my question to you is this. Well, I mean, I kind of want to talk about this a little bit. So let's talk Paul George for a second. Paul George came back from like a very gruesome injury, right?
Pandemic P.
He called him that. Well, he called himself Playoff P, right? And he hasn't been that successful in the playoffs. And he's gonna catch crap for that, right? Until he like proves himself, we're gonna give him crap, and he's gonna get the Pandemic P, like an image, right? But here's kind of like I want to talk Paul George a little bit because Kawhi Leonard wanted to play with him, right? He like specifically said I want to play with Paul George when he went to the Clippers, and they traded the farm to get him, right? And look, I recognize he's one of the top players in the league, right? He was an MVP candidate. He came back from a gruesome injury. He's not one of those players that is like a Kobe Bryant or like who's like very loud and like, ultra like let's go boom 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 like, let's like yelling at teams whatever. He has a more of an aloof like laid back demeanor, which is fine, perfectly fine. Same thing with Kawhi. My problem with him is that it seems like he has like just a bad attitude in the sense, not even a bad attitude, rather, yeah, bad attitude is not what the term I'm looking for. He seems like he makes excuses, right? So, and I want to mention a couple things. We all remember a couple years ago when he was with OKC, and OKC, we remember the famous Damian Lillard shot, right? When he waved them bye bye. They lost to Portland 4-1, right? 4-1. They were talking mad smack to Damian Lillard, and Damian Lillard, that's why he put him to bed like that. But they lost that series 4-1. On paper, they were a much better team than Portland, right? Because you have like two like superstars, but you still lost 4-1, right? And after that game, like after that shot, he was like, "That's a bad shot. Like, let the history be known that that's a bad shot." And I'm like, it's so that's one right there. Last year, like go figure, they're losing to Dallas now. Dallas gave them a run for the money last year. They ended up losing in the playoffs, down 3-1 to who did they lose to in the playoffs last year? Do you remember?
Clippers?
Huh? The
Who the
Clippers lost
Clippers
the
lose to?
playoffs
Oh man, I
to
don't even know.
Denver. That's who they lost to.
Yeah.
To Jokic. So and they came down 3-1. They're down 3-1, and at the end of the that series, he was like, yeah, we just didn't have enough time to play together. We have no we had no chemistry, right? There was no chemistry. Like you're down 3-1, and you like beat other teams to get there, and there's still like no chemistry. So it seems like he was making like another excuse. Now this time, down 0-2, they essentially blew their home court advantage, right? Like
Yep.
Dallas came to your home and beat you guys twice.
Mhm.
Then when asked, "Are you worried?" He goes, "Yeah, we're not worried. Like, we're not worried. We just got to play our game." I'm like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, I know you kind of have this. Like, I don't expect you to have like this, like, gone crazy, like, yo, we need to like bang on the like try to get in people's face, whatever. But this kind of aloofness is kind of what's holding you back. Like, show some accountability. I'm trying to win some games here. Mind you, in that second game though, they did play well. It just seems like Dallas is just a better team. Dallas is just a better team. And Luka Doncic, I saw a clip where Luka Doncic like hit a 3-pointer on one leg just for fun. Like that's just all the disrespect in the world right there, where he's just screwing around, just like three, boom. So yeah, I just went off on that. What do you think? What are your thoughts on like the Clippers being like the Clippers?
So,
They just
so I'll
suck.
go back to what you said about Paul George first. First of all, I do like how Paul George ties his sneakers into the PlayStation. Love that.
Yeah.
So the PG5s are going to come out with a PlayStation 5 variant. I'm trying to get, but so I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, when you look at the Damian Lillard shot, I mean, it's not really a good shot, right? I mean, he hit it from like out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it's not a good shot. I mean, did he do a great job defending it? Not really, but I mean, when you take a loss like that, like, and you look back at it, I mean, you're gonna feel like, well, he made a lucky shot. Like people aren't gonna do that.
Hold on. Let me push back a little bit on that. They lost that series 4-1 though, right?
Yes.
That's not a game 7 type shot.
Oh yeah,
like,
no, I was just talking about that comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they got beat, and
I mean you got beat.
I was rooting
you
for
got beat.
Damian Lillard.
Don't blame me saying, "Oh, it's a lucky shot." Like, I mean, that's the shot you want him to take for sure. A step back, 37-foot 3-pointer. It's the shot you want him to take in the final.
But that's why he made that comment, though. That's why he made the comment.
That's still.
And
what about the other 4 games you lost, or 3 games, or 3 other games you lost? Like, come on.
I mean, he ever since he played LeBron, ever since he was on the Pacers, and he played LeBron in the Heat like real tough.
Yeah.
After that, he just hasn't been the same in the playoffs. I mean, it's sad to say, but something just happens to that guy. He does great in the regular season, and then where are you? Can't find you. So I think the Clippers are, and what's funny about the Clippers too. Like I said, I watch the Undisputed show with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. And Skip Bayless is like so sure that the Clippers are like the best team ever. And now that they're getting stopped, he's like trying to find ways to defend himself. And he went so far as to say that, because you know, the guy was whatever his name is on the Mavericks, because he only scored like a couple points in the fourth quarter. You know, he didn't have a good performance. And Shannon Sharp was like, okay, but what about the other 39? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like something is going on with the Clippers, honestly. It's like, I don't know. Something's going on with those guys. I don't think they're as good as people think.
Let me ask you this. Is there a curse on like the jerseys? Because
I think they're cursed. Yeah.
I mean, it's just that I don't even believe in that kind of stuff, but it just seems like that has to be it, right? Like,
yeah,
they
are not meant to win.
A pretty solid player, right? He brought a championship to the Raptors. Now, mind you, he faced a depleted like Warriors team, but he did get past the 76ers, and they were a pretty decent team. So
he got a lucky shot.
Well, that was a definitely
crazy lucky shot.
That's a definitely lucky shot. Yeah.
Boom.
Now, if Paul George is complaining about that shot, I'll give him credit for that. But Game 7, if that shot goes down, you know what? You're right. You're right. But he was complaining about Game 5. But like it's amazing because they fired their coach Doc Rivers last year for underperforming, and now they've taken a step back. I think
firing the coach is always like the first move every team makes, I feel like.
Yeah.
Doc Rivers is a great coach. And mind you, I mean, yeah, he definitely falters in the playoffs too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but I don't think that was the issue. Like he had 1-2 seasons with him?
Yeah. Well, that's what Paul George was talking about, where they weren't a cohesive team. They had no chemistry. And I mean, that's a BS excuse regardless. But no, you're right in the sense that they fired the coach. They probably let's face facts. They paid the farm for Paul George, and that just hasn't. They have no one else on that team. No one else. They tried getting Rondo. Patrick Beverly hasn't been that great. He's just a pest. He's not as strong defensively as he comes out to be. He's just a pest, right? Like Luka is torching those guys. Like he's torching so Kawhi Leonard is known as a great defender. He's torching Kawhi. So it's, I mean, I can get on Paul George a lot, but it's not with him. He's gonna catch crap because if he called himself playoff P and he hasn't been performing. But it's also that team as well. Like, this is not a well-constructed team. And it seems like they kind of just need to blow everything up.
I mean, they probably do, but I don't think they're going to.
They can't. Like, to blow it up, you need picks, and you trade them all to OKC to get Paul George. So I don't know.
I mean,
what are you gonna do, right? I don't think a coach is gonna save you guys from this. I I've never thought Tyronn Lue was a great coach, but firing him and getting a new coach, what's that gonna do?
I mean, but he needs time too. You know what I mean? You can't just, they're going to continue to be a playoff team, but they're going to have to. It's probably going to take a few years, and they'll have to find a way to get some more picks for them to make a leap. Yeah. The team I want to talk about right now, however, the Phoenix Suns. We can talk about the Phoenix Suns.
Let's talk about the Phoenix Suns. They're going to probably go out in the first round, but hey.
You know what? I think they can do it. I can do it.
I don't think they can do it simply because Chris Paul got hurt, right?
And that's the sad part, man, because Chris Paul is such a great player.
He's a great player.
I think he's cursed. He is cursed.
Yeah.
He gets hurt every playoffs.
Yeah.
He got hurt. They could have beat the Warriors when he was on the Rockets. He got hurt.
Yeah. Right? And he was hurt when he was with the Clippers and he was playing actually the Rockets. I don't know if he was hurt in last year's playoffs because they almost beat Houston last year when he was with OKC. I think they went to 7 games
Yeah.
last year. So yeah, I mean, I feel sorry for him. I mean, he can play, but
Yeah.
I think any chance of them upsetting like a full-powered Lakers team, because the Lakers are as close to healthy as they're gonna get. Like I know LeBron is like saying that he has like a bum ankle and a bum knee and whatnot.
But the Phoenix is the higher seed. I mean, technically, they wouldn't be upsetting the Lakers, right?
Sure. If you want to play technical like that, sure. I'd also say the Lakers had a lot of injuries this season, and they're the defending champions. So, right, technically that wouldn't be an upset, but Lakers did what they're supposed to do. They got 1 game in Phoenix, right? Which is something that the Clippers did not do. They did the opposite of that. They did not fail. They blew home court, and they might get swept.
Yeah.
But and I wonder what Paul George is gonna say afterwards. Like it's like, we haven't played together that long enough. No, but yeah, what's his name? What's that kid's name? Devin
Booker. That's a bad boy.
Yeah, Devin.
Yeah,
Booker,
I'm a fan.
Is looking like a great player. Like I think Kobe Gannon gave him like his sign of approval, like when Kobe was like leaving the league. Like Devin Booker kind of has it, right? Like that. And Phoenix Suns has historically not been a great team, right? Like I don't think they've made it past the Western Conference Finals. Like the last time they were decent is when they had Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire, and mainly Steve Nash. Steve Nash was awesome on that team. And they had a run like way many years ago with like Charles Barkley. But yeah, we'll see where they go. This year's not going to be their year, unfortunately. Chris Paul is getting older, so they're going to have to figure that part out. But Chris Paul has done well with that team. If we want to talk MVP, that could also be another one too, right? The way he's kind of transformed that team a little bit. But I don't think he's ever gotten the MVP, and he's transformed a lot of teams. He's transformed the Clippers. He's transformed OKC. He's transformed these guys, and like that's MVP to me. And they're a higher seed too, but again, there's a lot of politics involved as well, right? So,
true that.
Philly is good. Let's talk about the Nets, right? I don't know if there's much to talk about. Boston has been a disappointment. The Nets looks like they're like bulldozing like over teams. They don't have to play any defense. So
yeah, I think Boston has some key injuries too. But
yeah, Boston has some injuries. They have Jason Tatum, which I like as a player. I really like him a lot. I'm kind of hoping that he takes that next step to become a superstar. Kemba Walker. So when Kyrie Irving left and Kemba Walker, like they got Kemba Walker, I was really excited because Kemba Walker, though he's not as good as a player as Kyrie Irving, is a better teammate, I believe.
Yeah.
And doesn't believe that the earth is flat.
And definitely not as weird as Kyrie, yeah, for sure.
But he's been a disappointment on that team, unfortunately, right? So I was kind of hoping Boston would be like much better than they are now. Their team isn't well constructed either. So we're gonna have to see what happens, right? They have solid coaching. I think a lot of people are looking at the GM though, because they had a lot of picks, and Gordon Hayward's gone. Like they just haven't been great. So
yeah. Now I want to see Brooklyn. I want to see Brooklyn get somewhere.
Yeah.
Definitely rooting against the Lakers this year for sure. My surprise, two things I like about this year. One, my Wizards made it. They've been trashed. They've been trashed for a long time. The other thing.
Westbrook crap. I'll give Westbrook a lot of crap, but He did get them to the playoffs.
Hey, him and Bradley Beal.
Yeah,
That's
they
a
won like
bad duo.
17 games in a row too. At one
Yeah.
point in the season, I think, and like made that playoff push. They lost to Boston in the play-in, but they eventually got in.
Yeah.
So,
And the New York Knicks actually in the playoffs and winning a game.
yeah.
Right?
Knicks.
I didn't think. I mean, I'm happy. I always feel good about watching some of these teams that have been trash for so long make a comeback. You know what I mean? Like the Knicks haven't won a chip since '73. You know what I mean? They've been a doormat for decades now, right?
Yeah.
So definitely happy to see.
They haven't been relevant at all, like really.
No.
And
Nobody cares about them.
the last time they were really relevant was
Carmelo Anthony was there.
Yeah, I guess Carmelo Anthony. They had Linsanity for a second, and Carmelo Anthony, and of course they fucked that up.
Are you a fan? You sound like a fan, right?
I mean, I think
a Knicks fan?
So. Jeremy Lin, I think we put too much on him too quickly, right? Because he had a good run in New York, right? And I wish they did more to develop that. I mean, mind you, Jeremy Lin has had an opportunity in Houston, and he won a championship in Toronto, even though he didn't play. I like him as an individual. He works hard. He seems like he's very well-mannered,
Right.
but like I would have liked to see him be more successful in New York, but like outside of like the couple Carmelo Anthony years, the last time the Knicks was good was in the '90s with like Patrick Ewing and John Stark and Charles Oakley and those guys.
Yeah.
So,
but he played when they played. That was when Jordan was high. He wasn't doing nothing when Jordan was there. Sorry.
Well, and Hakeem. I think keep in mind they made it to the final. They made it to the finals, and Hakeem, I think, swept them in one of those series. The Rockets. Hakeem Olajuwon and the Rockets. So it was Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler, I believe. But yeah, like I'm happy for New York. We'll see how that series goes. That seems like it's gonna be a fun series. Like New York's screaming like F Trae Young is.
Well, you saw what he did. I mean, he
torched them. He torched them. So that looks like it's going to be a good series. It seems like Trae Young is going to be a villain, which is good. We do need to talk about how some of the NBA fans are being stupid, and like let's cover that a little bit. I want to talk about Philly a little bit. It looks like Philly is going to be good, a good team. As well. Also, who else? I'm actually excited to see the Brooklyn Nets and the Brooklyn Nets and the Milwaukee Bucks play. So excited to see that. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's quickly talk NBA players being spit on right quick. And then,
so let's talk. Let's see. There was the incident in Philly. We know how Philly fans are. So I'm one of them in the football season. But evidently my understanding is somebody threw popcorn on Westbrook.
Yeah, so Russell Westbrook
spit on him.
Yeah, Russell Westbrook, he rolled his ankle, he was leaving. And while he was leaving, someone like dumped popcorn on him, and Russell Westbrook lost it. He almost if people were there to hold him back, he was gonna go in the stands and like kick someone's ass. Like it would have been like another rumble in like the Troy thing again.
He was like somebody tracked their ugly ass down.
Yeah. So, but that fan's been banned like for life. Like, and
right. So. Can't be doing stuff like that.
I think they did the same thing with the guy that spit or tried to spit towards Trae Young, right? In New York. And like and the NBA has had this problem. Like they've had fans say racial things. Like it's like they feel like they're better than these guys, or they feel like because these guys are so like successful and rich that they can talk to them however they want to, and they just can't. there's probably some more racial undertones that we're missing here, because these tends to be white fans doing this. Now, mind you, like the location of like where these seats are, like really expensive seats and whatnot. We can get that's a whole rabbit. That's a whole.
Well, I
other
mean,
thing to talk
that's
about.
so the thing about the NBA too is like that's the more accessible league,
Yeah.
right? Like the players are more accessible. You're like right there. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember I had 4 seats at a Lakers game. I'm sitting like right behind Kobe. You know what I'm saying? Like
You had floor
when
seats.
like when you could do that, you could talk directly to people. Like if you're the type of person that wants to heckle somebody,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can be a real problem. So,
Mhm.
there's just people being stupid. I mean, but now they're being more strict about it. I mean,
I hope
it'll
so.
probably stop. You know what I mean?
I hope so.
So,
Okay. Well, that was the playoffs. Yeah, you got anything else for us, man?
I'm all talked out, my friend.
Yes.
It's a good episode. I mean, this is episode 25. You gotta do it big. I mean, it's a pretty big episode right here.
Yeah.
You know what I
No, we
mean?
talked about a lot. We had a wide ranging of issues. We talked about George Floyd to the Eternals to Floyd Mayweather and now basketball.
Yeah.
So it's been good. So yeah, let's go ahead and call it. Yeah, so thank you guys for joining. Really appreciate it. Next episode we're going to be on YouTube.